According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 110.26 at where a minimum clearance of 42 inches is required in front of electrical equipment. This applies when the equipment is likely to require examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance while energized. The International Electrotechnical Commission, or IEC, Standard 60,439.1 also specifies a minimum clearance of 42 inches in front of electrical equipment for maintenance purposes. For top-mounted bus plugs, the 42-inch clearance distance applies if the bus is likely to require examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance while energized. If such work is not anticipated, a reduced clearance may be acceptable. However, it is always advisable to follow the NEC and IEC guidelines for safety reasons. Even though 400 amp and 600 amp bus plugs may not require frequent maintenance, the NEC and IEC standards still apply. If the bus is not easily accessible for maintenance, a reduced clearance may be considered. However, the clearance should be sufficient to allow for safe maintenance when necessary. When determining the appropriate clearance distances for bus plugs, there are several factors to consider. Firstly, frequency of maintenance matters. If the bus is rarely serviced, a reduced clearance may be acceptable. Secondly, ease of access is important. If the bus is difficult to access for maintenance, a larger clearance may be required. Thirdly, the presence of obstructions is a key consideration. Obstructions such as ceiling beams, fire sprinkler systems, or steam lines may necessitate a reduced clearance. Fourthly, and most importantly, there are safety considerations. The primary concern is to ensure the safety of personnel performing maintenance. Adequate clearance distances must be maintained to prevent electrical shock or other hazards. While the NEC and IEC standards provide minimum clearance distances, it is generally advisable to provide additional clearance whenever possible. This will allow for easier maintenance and reduce the risk of accidents. The specific clearance distance requirements for bus plugs depend on the specific application and the frequency of maintenance required. However, it is always recommended to follow the NEC and IEC guidelines for safety reasons. When obstructions prevent a full 42 inches of clearance, a reduced clearance may be considered with careful evaluation of the risks involved.